Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Why Ukraine live stream. Coming to you live from Ukraine. I'm James, and I don't know, I can't exactly put my finger on why, but this has been a hard week for me. I don't know. I just watched Jake Broe. He said a lot of Ukrainians are feeling it. So maybe I'm, maybe it's the season. I don't have seasonal affective disorder the way most people do. For me, it's the opposite. I get depressed in the summertime. But yeah, it's been a hard week, and I'll go through some of the reasons why. This is not one of the reasons why. Okay, I know everybody's up in arms about Zaluzhny getting fired. I talked about it last week, and I'm letting you know that it's not the big deal that everybody's making out of it. It's gonna be fine, okay. I'm glad that a change was made. I'm also glad to see. I think that the way Zelensky did this, or tried to do this, was the best, most sensitive way that he could. In saying, he's still going to be part of the team. We're not, we're not kicking him out and he's going to be treated like a criminal now or something like that. No. He's, thank you for your service. You're still going to be, and he should be, he better be. He needs to stay on as an advisor to make sure that the transition goes smoothly, and frankly, I think he'll probably appreciate having, not so much responsibility, a little bit more of a vacation. Hey, Sally, thanks for coming. Thank you very much. Thanks for popping in. Give me just a second. I want to make sure that the stream is working on all the platforms it's supposed to be. But yes, Sally, since you're the first one in here, what do you think about this situation? What do you think about who's the new guy, Starsky? This dude. I don't know anything about. I mean, all I know about him is that he was the commander during the defense of Kyiv and the Kharkiv offensive. To me, that's a big plus. Anna, thanks for coming. Thank you very much. Sally says, I think he was treated pretty well. It sounded like he was respected. Yeah, and I think that was a really important thing to do. Yeah. I mean, we can't guarantee that it's going to be a good thing. But we can hope. We can hope. So that is my hope. That's what I'm going for here. I mean, look, the Kharkiv offensive was the the biggest success, to be honest, the biggest success that Ukraine has had, arguably. Perhaps Kherson was a bigger deal, but in terms of, certainly, I think the Kharkiv offensive was the most dramatic success that that Ukraine has had, And if he truly was the guy in charge of that, the guy who made that happen, then that shows that he's someone who is, uh, you know, ready to take some risks, ready to try new things in a way that perhaps Zaluzhny was not. And that's probably what Zelensky's looking for. Now, about the other things, that I've talked about the problems within, the Ukrainian army, about the issues with, I mean, the type of assault that he performed. Uh, let's assume that he was truly involved in that assault. Uh, hey, Catherine, thanks for coming in. Yeah. Oh, Tony, how you doing, man? I just got your message. Thank you. So yeah. I know everybody was up in arms about Zaluzhny. Everybody felt really defensive about him, and Ukrainians too. But I think that Zelensky pulled it off. I mean, the big concern was, will this lead to instability? Will this lead to instability within the context of Ukrainian society and Ukrainian government? And posting this picture and the way the president handled it. He said, I offered Valery Fedorovich, that's Zaluzhny, to continue to be in the team. Right? And so that's good. And we'll see. Let's be hopeful. I'm trying to be hopeful this week, and I'm struggling, guys. I'm having a little bit of a rough time. And I have specific reasons for that, and we'll let's go there. Let's just get into it. First of all, I've been struggling. Tony, I'm really glad that you got of the money that you guys, everyone donated to help Tony. There's a little bit left, and I need to get that to him so that he has, money for travel, because you're going to need some cash when you're going, especially going through Poland, man. That will suck you dry. Every single person that I've talked to, every single legionnaire who I've spoken to, they were like, "Oh man, I got to Poland and I spent all my money in Poland. Why did it cost so much? Everything was expensive there." Yeah, they suck you dry. And every Ukrainian I talk to, they're shocked when they, if they go to Poland and they're like, "Oh, it's so expensive," because you get used to being in Ukraine where most things are really cheap. I thought he came and left, and I didn't know he's coming back again. Man, I would really love to see Shere Khan, and I really want to meet with Tony when he comes. I'm just not sure if our schedules will align. It really kind of sucks being here in this far, far western part of Ukraine, and I'm not here because to like get away from the war or something like that. I'm here because of the free rent. I've got free rent in this giant house, and it's hard to say no to that, but it also leaves me kind of, so at the end of the next week, I'm going to be moving back to my home in the Cherkasy Oblast, and I'm looking forward to it, in many ways. So yeah, I need to skip over some of the articles today, which I'll go back to these here. They're all important conversations, but yeah, God, this problem I'm having sending money from Ukraine to America is just a huge flatulent pain in the ass. I hope, Tony, that PayPal finally works. So we did a test. I sent him, a very small amount just to make sure. And then later on today, I'm going to send you the rest. So, but the other problem that I'm dealing with, and this is not just a personal problem, guys. This is like news. Okay, it's very interesting news. So I've been talking about it for a while. I put these, one person ordered this. You guys have ordered about 10 of these different magnets, right? They're like Ukrainian collectible magnets. This one, this one is my favorite. No, there's another one that I like better. Unfortunately, I had to take them down. I took almost all of them down yesterday. This is just crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, first of all, I'm 8 kilometers from the Hungarian border here. Okay, and I've been trying to send out these magnets. Earlier this week, I went to one post office. They call it Nova Pošta, the new post office. And the people there said, we don't know how to ship things internationally. We've never sent something to America before. We don't know how to do it. You'll have to go somewhere else. They literally told me, just we don't know how to do it. Go somewhere else. Can you imagine you go to the post office and they just tell you, yeah, sorry, we don't know how to ship stuff outside the country. I was shocked. Like, what do I do? And I only have so much time during the day, so I had to go home, teach my regular lessons and the things I do. So the next day, I went to another post office. I went to the government post office. It's called Ukropošta. Okay, and they told me you can't send anything with Ukrainian symbols on it. Ukrainian flags, the Ukrainian trident. Doesn't matter if it's yellow or blue, black or red. Anything with any sort of pro-Ukraine stuff on it, you cannot send it outside of Ukraine. And I keep in mind that I don't really speak Ukrainian, so I'm having to use a translator, and I was just shocked, like, why? And the thing is they didn't know why either. They don't know why this is happening. All they said was that if you try to send something, like 90% of the time, if it has any sort of Ukrainian symbols on it, I mean, I'm talking about inside the package. They said that just a couple of days ago, somebody had some candies with the Ukrainian trident on it, like imprinted on the little candies, sending to a relative or a friend or something, and they got sent back. It was just, among the other things, they physically look through every little thing in the package. So I spent all day yesterday calling and trying to find information from the Ukrainian customs offices. Had my wife calling them, everything else, and trying to find some rule somewhere saying that you can't send. But I'm like, why would Ukraine do that? That's insane. That is absolutely, like, I was like, Ukrainians are shooting themselves in the foot there, Yeah. You're right, Mark. It is crap. It's bullshit. It was bullshit. Okay, eventually, the Ukrainian officials who I spoke to eventually, they were like, "Yeah, no, we don't do that. The only thing with that, the country that you're sending to or sending through might block things from Ukraine, certain things, but Ukraine does not block stuff. There's a lot of things that they block, but not stuff with Ukrainian symbols on it, you know." And so this is when I think this is when it hit me. Hey Cheryl, thanks for coming in. Um I'm 8 kilometers from the Hungarian border. So everything that gets sent internationally from here. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thank you for telling me this. Thank you, actually. I appreciate it. It's really strange, Catherine. Um, but here's what I think. This is just my theory. This is what I figured out late yesterday. The only thing that it could possibly be. I'm 8 kilometers from the Hungarian border. Everything that gets shipped out from here is going through Hungary. Yeah, Sally, I know. I was freaking out, and I'm like, this cannot be. This cannot be." So I think what's happening is Hungary, or some Hungary, the whoever does the inspections at the Hungarian border doesn't like Ukraine, and for whatever, for they're an extremely corrupt country, of course, and for whatever reason is just going through and rejecting anything with Ukrainian symbols on it. And I mean, I didn't realize that until about 5 or 6 o'clock last night. Um, and so, it's the only it's the only situation. It's got to be, Anna. It's got to be a Hungarian policy. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay, it's got to be a Hungarian. I mean, it shows you. I mean, even if maybe it's not a policy, maybe it's just the border guards are just asswipes. Um. Oh, okay. So, guys, today, I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about Tucker Carlson. Um, I haven't watched the interview yet. I kind of don't want to. I don't really give a crap what that guy does or says. I know eventually I will have to address it. Right now, I don't care. I'm glad that some of you are keeping on it. Yeah, Dylan. Dude, Dylan Burns is rad. um, yeah, I think that's the only way I could possibly watch Tucker Carlson would be to watch it with Dylan Burns, in like a watch party kind of a situation. Yeah. Okay. But so between this situation, the stupid freaking magnets situation, and struggling to send money to Tony 5 different ways, I've just been I've been down. I've been pretty depressed this past few days, and it's been really getting to me. And then this situation, yesterday I found out about this, and I think Jake Broe reported this too. I mean, we don't have exactly I don't have any real confirmation besides these two Twitter posts. This was sent to me by a Ukrainian, actually, but I mean, it makes perfect sense. So the lecture on historical appropriation, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, Timothy Snyder could take him down in a minute. Yeah, and you guys know about I shared with you last week, of course, my if we want to talk about cultural history and who has the real story and blah blah blah. We could talk about that. we anyway, all right. We just have to amplify the real story. That's why the stuff I was telling you about last week about about Ukraine being the source of so many languages spoken all over the world. And I don't know if most of you guys probably weren't here for the live stream I did about how Ukrainians conquered the Roman Empire. That's actually true. You can go back and watch my live stream. It's not one of my best, but I'll probably do it again. I'll probably talk about it again. Yeah. Putin Snyder debate would be awesome. Maybe that would be something I would watch. Would be to have Timothy Snyder go point by point through every one of Putler's points, and that would be awesome. I'm gonna message, if I can find him online somewhere. I'm gonna message Timothy Snyder and be like, "You need to do this," because it would be great. Oh my god, yeah. So Elon is selling to both sides. That's the news here. Starlink is being used by the Russians now in the occupied territories. So if we take a look at this map, this is a map of eastern Ukraine and the occupied territories of Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Luhansk are all under Starlink coverage. And this is a problem. This is a real freaking problem. Because so the Russians are getting their accounts set up in Dubai, and then they're taking those Dubai-based accounts to Russia and then into the occupied territories. There are ways to stop this, okay? Starlink could stop this from happening if they wanted to. It's not that difficult. Pretty easy for them to prevent Russians from using Starlink. They could change the coverage map, would be one way, obviously. But also there's different methods of account verification that they could very easily use. And, well, we can't allow this. This can't be allowed. This cannot continue. Okay? Because this is extremely harmful to the war. This has a direct effect on Ukraine's ability to win this war. And we know that Elon Musk wants Ukraine to lose and wants Russia to win and wants the genocide and wants the rape of civilians and the destruction of cities. He wants that. He wants that. And I'm getting to the point of like boycott Tesla. I hate to say it. But we need to start thinking about I don't even like showing Twitter anymore. I don't even go on Twitter. I hate Twitter. But to me, it's supporting. That's the problem with oligarchy, and America is becoming an oligarchy. Too much wealth concentrated into the hands of too few people, and the rules are all bent in their favor and continue to be more so. Yeah. If Elon allows it, then maybe Ukraine allowed to go to Moscow. Yeah, so I'm aiding and abetting terrorism. Really. That's really what it is. Just remember that Musk is a welfare billionaire. Yeah, and the fact that he's freaking out about illegal immigrants when he effectively was one, coming on a student visa and working, and that's how he got his start. The hypocrisy in that is shocking. But yeah, Elon Muscovite. Wow, that's a good one. Elon Muscovite. I like that. I mean, actually, I hate it, but you understand what I mean. I hope. Yeah, it's awful. We can do something about this, though. Like, we can make phone calls. We can spread the word about this, and shame Starlink. Maybe not Musk. Maybe he's beyond shame, I think, at this point. But Starlink has a contract with the United States federal government. It's a major contract to provide not just connectivity in Ukraine, but that's a major part of it. They set up a whole separate company just to service their government contracts, strictly because of Ukraine. Yeah, I mean, I have a Twitter account, but yeah, I don't use Twitter. Yeah, 80% of the fentanyl is brought across the border by Americans. Yeah, don't get me started on the border thing. But so this is sort of a situation where I think that the United States federal government and the Defense Department, as they become aware of this, this is aiding and abetting the enemy. This is aiding and abetting terrorism. And okay, perhaps it's an oversight, whatever you want to call it, but something needs to be done, and we need to keep this up in the public consciousness. Start talking about it. I'm not telling you to share this Twitter post, because that would, but yeah. So it needs to be like front page news. Yeah. It's insane that one man has so much power. It shouldn't, and it also shows you how power corrupts. Power corrupts, and Elon has been corrupted by the power that he's gained. He's corrupted. Yeah, Trump's current wife was an illegal alien. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. I think I've got that off my chest. I mean, I don't have my normal, like, 50 different articles and things to talk about today. I really have just 3 or 4 big ones. Sometimes I think that's better, to talk about just a few things. I mean, fantastic. Tony's coming. I think it's gonna be really interesting to see, just to go back to the Starsky situation. What I would like to know, and this obviously this hasn't come out yet, but Starsky being in charge of the Kharkiv offensive, the Kharkiv liberation operation. Okay, for those of you, I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was the liberation of this green area here. So this is Kharkiv Oblast, and the way it went was basically like what we would call thunder runs. A thunder run, where basically Ukrainians just charged in. And I had friends who in the Legion who were involved in this to various degrees. I think Tony our friend, we have a friend who was in this area immediately before and then immediately after the liberation. So he just barely missed it. But yeah, the retaking of Izium was a huge one where they recovered, hundreds of vehicles. And that's the thing, is taking it to them, taking it to the Russians, as dangerous as that may be, is the only way that we're going to win. Sitting back and being defensive the whole time is never going to work, and I totally understand why we were unable to, make the right moves. But just frankly, and I understand it's my armchair general Monday morning quarterbacking, but we needed to make a move before the Surovikin line was completed. That's what needed to happen. And we didn't. And there are reasons for that, obviously, mainly because America wasn't sending enough stuff. And the generals were trying to wait, like, just wait till we get just a few more Abrams, get those last attackums. And, I think now Zaluzhny has realized, as he said in his essay, that we need to become adapted to not having all the things that we need, not getting the support. And unfortunately, I think he just realized that a little bit too late. So I'm hoping that the two big things in Ukraine this week, this Starsky dude coming on, okay, with trying new things, fresh thinking. I mean, that Thunder Run, and here's my theory on the Thunder Run, right? They could have taken all the way to all of northern Luhansk. I fully believe that they were capable of doing that. The generals in charge, I don't know if it was Zaluzhny or who specifically, the generals in charge saw this Thunder Run, and you would expect them to be like, woohoo, but no, they were like, no, this is horrible, because Soviet doctrine is, let your enemy come in. Let your enemy, come in, and then, you envelop them once their lines are spread out and their logistics are. So a Soviet trained general or commander would see interesting. Sorry, a Soviet commander would see this Thunder Run and think of it as, oh my God, we're just about to lose. We're going to lose everything now, because the Soviet mentality is, artillery, and then send in a wave of infantry to just hold the ground and pick up the pieces, and then do the repeat. So the fact that, or the assumption, what's being reported is that Starsky was the commander for that Thunder Run. My question is, who held him back? Who prevented him from taking all of northern Luhansk? That's my question. Cheryl, you said, I'm used to small English language operations like they have in Asia. Are we talking about teaching English, Cheryl? I missed it. Okay. Hey, Vlad, are you a Russian troll? Are you a Russian troll, Vlad? Apparently, Vlad has never watched my live streams. Will somebody tell Vlad that I was in the Legion? And you can shut the fuck up, Vlad. Vlad the Kebabber? Yeah. Well, you know what, though? Thank you for coming, Vlad. It's nice to have... I'm honored by your presence, actually. It's nice to have a Russian troll here. I'm wondering, why aren't you on the front line fighting the Ukrainians? Are you just too much of a coward? Is that why? Is that what's up? Yeah. Vlad's busy working for eggs. Yeah. They're getting expensive, aren't they? Anyway. Yeah. So it brings me a lot of hope, actually, to see about Starsky. I'm making a lot of assumptions. I totally understand that. I don't completely know. Kuiper, the Kuiper belt is a ring of, like, it's where the comets come from. It's way, way, way on the edge of the solar system. So it might be related to the word copper linguistically. But it's named after some dude named Kuiper, Cooper, something like that, who discovered the Kuiper belt. And the idea of a lot of thousands or millions of small objects rotating around or in orbit is kind of that's why it's called the Project Kuiper, because it's kind of a similar concept. Anyway, yay, a troll, woohoo! I mean, yeah, arguably they culminated, but a lot of people and a lot of soldiers. So Cheryl, a lot of soldiers said, no, they held us back. We could have kept going. We could have easily kept going. We had them on the run, and they stopped us from advancing any further. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Ukrainian generals stepped in and said, "Stop! Don't go any further." Okay, and I think that was a huge mistake, and a lot of soldiers who were involved did, or so I read. Vlad, don't forget to like the stream. Oh, good stuff. Oh, you guys are making me feel better. Thank you so much. Because like I said, I was having a rough time. I want to bring up this article. Okay, and I said I wasn't going to talk about the whole mobilization debate before, but I want to show you kind of like another side or some of the debate that's happening here in Ukraine. Okay, so this article, it's obviously an opinion, and it's an opinion from a soldier. Okay, and I agree and disagree with some of what he's saying here. So let me just give you a quick rundown. So the need to mobilize a large number of people in the armed forces, we all know about it. Okay, cause social tension, in partly related. You got Russian psyops spreading misinformation about mobilization. And he says, it talks about reactive resistance and cases of legally questionable actions of those implementing the mobilization process on the ground, which, in other words, shanghaiing people on the street. That's the big thing that's really pissing off Ukrainians, is the recruitment officers in the military or military police coming up and just grabbing people off the street. And Ukrainians are saying, I hope Vlad is sitting in a cafe with lots of orc officers. Yeah. Yeah, Tony. Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah, Is it HIMARS o'clock, Vlad? Better check your watches. Anyway, so this paragraph really important. Okay, we strongly oppose the fact that those who did not participate in the defense of the country cannot claim all social benefits and opportunities in Ukraine. Now, that's something I didn't know. Is there a law about that? Let's check it out. So, seizure of evaders' accounts, ban on right to travel a vehicle, right to drive a vehicle, and to travel outside of Ukraine. So this is something that is being proposed. In other words, if you are conscripted, so right now, if you are conscripted in Ukraine, you can basically just ignore it. That you get a letter, and you can just ignore it as long as you don't walk around outside. Because what'll happen is the police may, and I've been checked by the police a few times. They will check they'll ask for your ID. They'll check to see if you are on the list of people who has been mobilized, who was sent a letter, and if you were, they will take you right there. And that's the thing that doesn't look good on video. Okay, but so this is a proposal. As far as I know, it's not actually law. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's any Ukrainians in here at the moment. Yeah, press gangs. Press gangs is what Ukrainians are pissed off about. Okay, but the situation, but they let him go into the Navy instead of the Marines, Cheryl. I don't know if that was better or not. The same thing happened with my uncle in Vietnam, and he joined the Merchant Marines, and he hated it so much he ended up in the brig. Anyway, the point is, so they're talking about making it so that if you get a letter, you get a draft letter, you don't respond, you can have, make it so you can't drive a car. You might possibly have your bank account seized or be unable to make electronic payments, things like that. That has not been made law. Okay. But that's what he's talking about here when he's talking about claiming all social benefits. So we strongly oppose the fact that those who did not participate in the defense of the country cannot claim all social benefits. That's coming from a soldier who fought in the war. Okay. So he says this is complicated by the traditional, he uses the word traditional, right? Traditional level of social injustice and selective attitude to corruption and nepotism in all spheres of social relations, in particular regarding military service. So that's a very complex sentence. Let me try to break this down for you. Ukrainians know that if you are rich, you don't have to fight. Okay, there's even been proposed laws to say if you're rich, you don't have to fight. What it means when we say you're rich, you don't have to fight is if you're walking down the street and you get they check you and then you just slip them 500 or 1,000 grivnas and go about your day. Okay, 500 grivnas, it's like $15. All right. So that's the corruption, and then the nepotism. It's exactly like what's the in Vietnam, Fortunate Son. Yeah, the song Fortunate Son. It's exactly like that. So if you are, the son of a rich person or of a politician, you're not going to even be on the list. You're never going to be on the list, right? And that's what he's talking about here. So in that context, yeah, This is what Ukrainians are actually. My wife has told me the exact same thing. You know, why should we have to? Why should the poor people have to be the ones to sacrifice, and the rich people get away with what they always get away with? That's bone spurs. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah. So that's the real crux of the debate. Okay. Um. So, but this guy, this author makes another important, and I'm not sure that I agree with it, but another important point. And this is the title of his mobilization as a survival test. Okay, so what he says here is, it is unpleasant to admit it, but the test of mobilization for us also becomes a test of how many of our citizens this country does not need. Whoa. And that this is a very, very strong, going back to Soviet times, even Russian Empire times, where signing up for military service was not an honorable thing to do. It was something that you did either because you were forced to, or because you had no other future. And the idea that we have had in the West of, you got the GI Bill. I have three brothers who were or are in the military, and I can't really go into details about their service too much. Maybe I will a little bit, but I can tell you that they went into the military with basically no education, and they're all like IT workers or better now, and doing good things. Oh, good night, Tony. Yeah, dude. Wow. Hey, and do my last 8 hours. Wow, man. Yeah, see you tomorrow night, man. And hopefully I'll have some money for you today. You'll wake up to it, maybe. Okay. Anyway, so there's a real it's an instinctual, like, kind of looking down at people who are in the military. Now obviously that has flipped, because now everybody's in the military as heroes, but that old Soviet social thing is hard to shake. And frankly, this is something that my wife doesn't understand. She doesn't understand why I wanted to go in the first place. She was super angry about it. And, because people, like in World War II, where 40% of the soldiers in the Russian army were Ukrainian. I believe I read that statistic somewhere. Oh, I hate it. I hate when I do that, Sally. When I accidentally, like, I'm like a minute behind, or 3 or 15 minutes behind, and drives me crazy. Yeah, actually, see, as the sod turns, you could institute citizenship, citizen policy from Starship Troopers. Yeah, no political rights if no service. Yeah, that's what Ukrainians want to avoid. That's kind of what I don't know. The implication actually is, maybe not in the books, but in the movie Starship Troopers, was, I don't know if you remember, but Johnny Rico, he had a rich family, rich parents. He didn't have to join the military, and his parents were like, You're crazy. You don't have to do this. Come on vacation with us. We're rich. You don't have to worry about that shit." So it's a little bit of that. Um, okay. So I'm just trying to. I don't know if I do a good job representing the Ukrainian viewpoint or mindset, but um, so it's very interesting here. He says it's a fear, natural fear, right? Um, Fear of serving and fighting goes hand in hand with complacency, in the style of, quote, stupid Russians throw their troops into assaults where our armed forces destroy them en masse. It's here's the point he says here. This is the Russian narrative, like Vlad's narrative, which is the Russians have unlimited mobilization potential, so we can't defeat them anyway because there are more of them. So there's a lot of kind of defeatism taking over, and maybe I felt that, maybe I absorbed that. I was telling you when we started this stream, I sort of absorbed that here somehow. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know. So I'm just keeping you abreast of the debate. Something needs to break. Something needs to break here real soon. Something needs to break with this mobilization debate here in Ukraine. Something needs to break with funding in America. And I have to tell you that I don't think that this mobilization, in other words, if people see here in Ukraine there's no money coming for there's no money coming for weapons from the United States and from Europe, it's just trickling in. Yeah, it's very interesting, Cheryl. You talk about that, about Irish race riots in New York City during the Civil War. This is happening here in Ukraine. So the title of this article is "Riot of Policemen." So police riot. Okay, and let me explain what happened. A special unit of police, of the National Police, okay, in Dnipro, which is pretty close to the front line, they were told that that their entire brigade was going to be, so the Special Purpose Police Regiment of the GUNP. That's the National Police, okay? Which is, it's strange that they have a national police. We have FBI, but this is something different. This is actually like federal police, okay? So they were told that, let me go down to the article. So there was a February 4th, there was a video of a police meeting in Dnipro. On it, the law enforcement officers allegedly refused to be transferred to an assault brigade. So basically, the entire National Police Brigade in Dnipropetrovsk was being mobilized, and they had a riot essentially. They had a riot, and I don't think that
Можу сказати, що
a discussion about it. So I don't have the video of that riot for you. It would be interesting to see, but I don't have it. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, the police don't want to go to war. They're like, no, we joined the police so that we wouldn't have to go to war. That's what a lot of people do. That's a good question, Mitch. That's a really good question. Can the EU money be used for military wages? It should be. It should be. So anyway, as it turns out, they had a riot, and that doesn't matter because they're all being transferred to the Elite Special, the Elite Assault Brigade. So, so even the police, nobody wants to go to war, okay? Except crazy dudes like me. I don't want to, but my, of course I've got a paywall here. My feeling is that Ukraine funding, U.S. Yeah. My personal feeling is that this mobilization debate, draft conscription debate in Ukraine is not going to be resolved until Ukrainians see that there's hope, that they're not just going to be thrown into meat waves with a shovel, because they see that their army is running out of weapons, and they're like, oh my God, they're going to throw, what am I going to fight with? Am I going to have artillery? And, you know, so the work that you guys are doing, that I know you guys are doing out there, you're calling, you're sending emails to senators and congressmen. The work that you guys, if you guys are in my live stream, you are pretty far down the support Ukraine rabbit hole. Let me tell you. So thank you. You know, there's more depending. It's not even just about the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians themselves are waiting, and I think that when this hopefully breaks open, okay, and Ukraine starts getting the money that it needs to, right, from the United States, the money, the supplies, everything, the weapons, this whole issue is going to go away in Ukraine. That's my theory, anyway. Yeah, we do need a grassroots movement, and I want to bring up. It's funny that you mentioned that, because a friend of mine who I just know him online. Okay, he's he's been a volunteer in Ukraine, fighting and delivering aid. Okay, his name's Matt. He just went back to the United States. Okay, and he says, he got injured and he couldn't fight anymore. And he says, bonus damage from Ukraine. I have all the symptoms of another blood clot and symptoms of a potentially torn meniscus. Woo, I get to spend the day in the ER. I swear Ukraine has taken like 10 years off my life. Thank God I have good insurance, as I have nothing left to sell and not a penny to my name. You know, and I said, you know, my feeling on it is that we need a grassroots movement. And I've been saying this since I started doing live streams. So it's since in the last 6 months, I've been saying this. More than that. We need something along the lines of like the American Legion, right? Okay. Or let's say the VFW, or maybe just have the American Legion or the VFW support volunteers who went to Ukraine. Okay. And it's something like the Rotary Club, or you know, any one of these you know, these groups that provide benefits and advocacy. We need that in the United States, in all countries. Okay? But this right here, for veterans, all right? And simply put, veterans of Ukraine need to be advocated for in their home countries, starting in our home, starting in America. Yeah, I mean, I hope that Cheryl, I hope you're right. I hope the military, you know, Taylor Swift, man, whatever it takes. We're riding on fumes here, you know, right down to the last. I want to just thank the people. Someone just bought or contributed $200 towards a plate carrier. That's freaking awesome and huge. Okay. Somebody bought this right here. I'm going to buy plates and a plate carrier this week, and the fact that they did that basically will mean that I don't have to spend, I don't have to buy the cheapest possibly fake plates. I'm really concerned about that. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Sally. This is what I want. This is what I wrote to Dr. Gerdes, and I wrote to Dr. Gerdes and Greg Terry about that. And you know what? I'm going to read it to you because they haven't responded yet to me. So maybe you can remind them, because it's a long ass email. Yes, crowdfunded war. Democracy, really. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna read this to you. All right. Hello again, Dr. Gerdes and Mr. Greg. Because I know he likes to be called Dr. Gerdes, and I don't think Greg would like to be called Mr. Terry. Somehow that just doesn't sound like something he would like. So I said, Greg, this is, of course, he's back in Ukraine. This was when anyway. I hope you've made it back safely and have had at least one good night's rest. I am writing the both of you because I've been thinking a lot about how to activate the disconnected majority of Americans around this issue of Ukraine. Most people take action based on who they know. It's true for everyone, but for conservatives, more than most. Your mileage may vary, but let's say family comes first, then friends, then football, then country, then everything else. I don't know if God comes before or after football, statistically. Actually, maybe football and God comes first in front of everything else. And beer. Beer should be in the list. Yeah. Lexan poly sheets there. Yes, they do. I have some, or I've purchased some. I've used them. It is possible. Why do you mention Lexan poly sheets? Anyway, I'll let you talk. Okay. The point is, we can yammer on YouTube all day. It's not going to make an impact without an organization on the ground. Greg, what you are doing is a perfect example of what I would like to see happen all over America. Every church, Rotary, VFW should have a little ongoing pancake prayer breakfast for Ukraine. And in my mind, that's the way to unlock the real power of U.S. conservatives. So what follows is an outline of how to make that a reality. Dr. Gerdes, I think you're in a unique position on this topic. While your audience might skew left, getting liberals together is like herding cats, you guys. But you could start holding little meetups locally and see who shows up. Once you show one little successful meetup, you can ask viewers to host their own little Dr. Gerdes groups, or whatever you want to call them, just to talk about Ukraine. And then delegate that so you can go on with your important work. The point is not to get people to volunteer or donate money. It's just a fun social event for a good cause. Make it enjoyable, cheap, have a voluntary potluck or some food, but camaraderie is the point. It should be an autopoietic system. Each little group should be so much fun that people in the church, the next town over, want to start their own group. It should be self-replicating and sustainable. If you don't know that word autopoietic, here. I wanted to include a word that even Dr. Gerdes would have to look up. So I did. It means self-replicating and sustainable, okay? When folks do volunteer or donate, there should be a big freaking hoopla over it on at least a monthly basis. A big award ceremony to honor everyone who gave a dime or 10 minutes of their time, with ascending honors for those who gave more. Not that people are necessarily seeking recognition. It's quite the opposite. I personally have, decades of experience with this in America with my social group, which is medieval history. The point is that unlooked for recognition is always a pleasant surprise and will make the group sustainable. So, Greg, your church gives a lot, but I fear that many other groups have gotten burned out. People gave what they could, and it didn't seem to make a difference. Over time, that affects even the most stalwart. And it could be a really long time before we see any overall positive effects in this war. So internal group motivation is important. Yes, we have Discord and Facebook, et cetera, but it's not as powerful as getting together physically. An online circle of people can become more than friends. They become like family when they actually meet each other. And that's a very powerful thing. So once a few groups have gotten going, how, where, and to whom they donate time and money will be critical. My suggestion is, rather than blindly donating to Ukraine or to the army, ZSU, or whatever, that each group should choose a specific battalion, a company, or even a squad to support. Someone like Greg might be in, or maybe me, might be in a position to establish those relationships, effectively sponsorships. It could be any unit, anywhere on the front. But this is one reason I'm all about the International Legion. I would like to see small, medium groups, that 10 to up to maybe like 300 people or more in the US who sponsor individual units in the same way we might sponsor like the local football team. They'll follow said unit through all its ups and downs, write letters, send care packages, and generally have direct communication with the guys on the line. They should know each one's call sign. You should know their favorite food, their shoe size. You should get postcards and thank you messages that you can put up on your refrigerator to show off at the next Ukraine meeting, right? So at the beginning of that, common language and background are going to be important things. So sadly, poor English or having to go through like Google Translate might make that a little bit difficult and dissuade some people. So talking to soldiers with a common background builds connection faster in the critical early stages. And realizing that America has boots on the ground puts more skin in the game for people. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. School children who sent you care packages. Yeah, but it's a little more involved than that, you know? Yeah, probably Mark Kelly probably does. Yes, I wrote this, Mitch. Moreover, through the Legion, the International Legion, we could have actual Ukraine veterans come and meet with those groups in the United States, like my friend Matt, who is back in the United States. Okay, we could have them in all over geographically, come and answer questions, tell stories, just, I don't know, pray with you, whatever. I posit that personal stories are what motivate people generally, be they conservative, liberal, or otherwise. So I want to make you, the viewers, part of the story. And this is how we're going to get Americans as emotionally invested in this war as they should be. To get Ukraine out of the everything else category for the average American and especially conservatives. And I mean, all it takes is the first meeting. One meeting to kind of snowball this, you know. So I'd like to talk about this with y'all when you have time and do some planning to make it happen. That's what I wrote to Dr. Gerdes and Greg. So we'll see if they have time to have a response. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. Greg's freaking busy as shit, you know, and Dr. Gerdes too. I understand. I'm not expecting like an immediate response. Okay. But it's out there. I put it out into the universe. All right. And, you know, we're all doing everything we can. The point is not to work harder. It's to work smarter. You know, there's plenty of people in the world sitting on their sofa wondering what to do and feeling lost and alone. And this is how to bring people together. You know, it doesn't mean we're going to like immediately solve the problem. It just means that we start putting one foot in front of the other and getting this at least on our end and showing Ukraine and Ukrainians. A lot of Ukrainians still to this day have no idea that the American people are supporting Ukraine tremendously because they see Tucker Carlson and they see Elon Musk, and they don't see how many Ukrainian flags there are just in front of every home in every city. I had to explain this to my Ukrainian students last night. I was like, you don't understand. If you go to America right now, every third house has a freaking, you know, blue and yellow flag in the window. And it's Americans support you. But you're on the other side of the world and you don't speak the same language. You're awake when they're asleep and vice versa. And so it's hard. It's hard to build that. Yeah, one step at a time. I'm all about, you know, project management stuff like, right, this concept, make a plan, do, study, act, right here. This is my jam. All right, you make a plan, you do it, you check to see if it works, you act to make changes, and slowly you move up the hill. That's my jam. That's what I'm all about. Oh, hey, whoa, we got another troll. Wow, I must be really successful today. 900 distribution. You're always posting stupid crap. It's hilarious, man. I just want to know, how much do you get paid per post? It's okay. You can tell us. It's not going to make a difference. Nobody watches this channel. Do you get paid more if you post on more popular channels? Oh, and also 900 distribution. Do you get paid more when people respond to your I mean, do you get paid for posting on live streams at all? Is this even worth it to you? I'm just curious. Oh, well, of course $0 because you're paid in rubles, dude. I mean, obviously. Anyway, yeah, you're living rent free. Listen, I've got something that's going to live rent free in your head pretty soon. You need to tell me what size you'd like it. If you'd like it in a 556 or 762 package. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks 900. Orc, coward, slave. Oh, I'm from California, you fool. Yeah, okay, we believe you. All right. It's wonderful. Highly entertaining to me. Anyway, so guys, there's one last thing I want to What? Oh, yeah. There's one last thing I want to talk about. There's one last thing I want to talk about. This is going to be a little bit of a short stream today. Normally, I only speak about I'm sorry. Maybe I don't want to talk about it. I have to think. Okay. I do want to talk about this. I want to mention there's a big attack happening in Chasiv Yar. So that's down here in the, this area. We should be aware of that. I'm very keenly aware of it. So we have people here, is what I'm saying. People that we're helping are out in this area, and so I would like to just ask you, viewers, right now. I've taken a lot of things off the list, but the most important thing that we need right now, especially for those guys, is tourniquets. And I have been able to find a price for tourniquets that is much lower than what it was originally. $20 per tourniquet. That's with shipping and handling and everything. And these are good tourniquets. We've already sent no, dude. Okay. 900 distribution. You're losing 1,000 of your mindless orc zombie slaves per day, dude. Okay. It's 10 to 1. 10 to 1. Why aren't you on the front lines right now? You know why? Because you're a coward. That's why. Because you're scared. Because you know the truth. Funny. All right. Yeah, so this is what we need right now. Okay. And the nice thing is you order one of these and it's like two days. Boom. It's like amazing how fast it is because it gets sent from Dnipro. So it's very close by. And now that they know me, they had to like call and verify who I was. So it's a very short distance from Dnipro to here, and 36 tourniquets we sent last time. This is the most important thing. Screw all the rest of it. I don't care. If you want to help, this is what they're going to need right now because this attack is a big deal. Regardless of what the orc troll says, he doesn't know shit. So, yeah. I have another subject to talk about, but it's really personal, and I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait until tomorrow because it's a serious situation, and it's not about Ukraine. It's about my family back in the States. And normally, I only talk about Ukraine on here, but this is something that I need to share with you guys. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Orc troll, that's all you got? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think I've reached the end of our stream today, guys. As much as I want to continue to talk about Ukraine and stuff today, the subject I have to talk about is not about Ukraine, and so I'll save it for tomorrow. It's not that big of a priority. This issue I will talk about tomorrow as well. I know this doesn't seem like it's a big deal about the National Bank studying the issue of limiting card transfers. It sounds very complex. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it for sure. So anyway, what I'd really like, guys, is just this. you know, this, if I can see some orders for tourniquets, if you got a 20 bucks sitting around, man, this would really make me feel good, because I am really worried about our guys out there in Chasiv Yar area. And this is the best way that I have to help them, that I know. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming. If he is in California, that troll is in a tent stealing internet from McDonald's. I know. 900 distribution. I'm sorry. You need to jump in earlier. I do donate 900 distribution, and I have joined the it's a real question. I have joined the International Legion. I communicate with my commanders in the International Legion almost every day, certainly weekly. And I have an injury, and I'm just working on my recovery before I go back. That's the honest truth. So I will be there. I'll be out there. Don't worry. I'm angry. That's the biggest thing that I'm angry about. Every single day that I see, my friends out there fighting, and I'm not there, and it makes me so freaking angry every single day. So I will be. And you need to get out of your, comfortable office in St. Petersburg, 900 distribution. And, come jump into the fun, buddy. Jump on in. The water's fine. Oh, Cheryl. Okay. Oh, okay. Good. All right, Cheryl. So Empire English contacted you. Yes. Oh, really? Okay. If that's the case, then Cheryl, I have another school who I will have contact you on Facebook. I believe we are friends on Facebook. So if not, okay. Tomorrow's stream, I will present another school that you can. I'll present another school that you can contact, and they are called Educado, and they're out of Kyiv. They would be like my second choice. Let me see if I can find them. Educado English School. Yeah, so they have a Facebook. Yeah, this is their Facebook here. So Cheryl, if you send a message to these guys, just if you want to just look up Educado on Facebook Educado School, and let's see do they have a website as well? Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. Educado School. We'll do an English translation. These would be my next choice, and I think like some of you were also asking about volunteering. He blocked me. What? No, okay. Anyway, this is a great way to help Ukraine. If you don't have money and you have time, they'll actually pay you. I mean, it's not a lot. It's like $10 to $15 an hour, and you might start out with like doing one class a week online. But there's a huge need. Huge need. Go check out the raging fire in Moscow. It looks so cool. Yeah, Empire's good. I'll talk to them though. Maybe they who knows. But also this would be my next choice, Educado. You can just go on their website, and to be honest with you, the best way to get in touch with them is Facebook here. So that's what I would do, basically. Is Yeah. Go on. Just look for Educado Ukraine. ED. Here, you know what? I'm gonna provide a link to it in our chat. Only half your messages are showing up. I'm sorry, 900 distribution. I don't know why. It could be if there are some like illegal characters that's automatically blocked by YouTube. I don't have anything to do with that. Sorry. I know that if you try to say, there are certain like keywords, like you can't use the word like Shopify, for example. You can't. I don't know. It's automatically blocked for some reason. You know. Color. Oh, they learn colorful metaphors from me for sure. That's. I mean, that's a big point. Is to teach. Yeah, exactly. If you're here, you aren't bothering anyone else. So, uh, but yeah, this is a great way, really a great way to support Ukraine and Ukrainians is to teach them English because it's so needed. It's so needed. And that's one thing when I join the Legion, I will teach English. I taught English when I was there in the training because we had free time when between training sessions and what have you, and where people were just sitting around and half of them didn't speak English, and so I was like, all right, we're doing English classes. So I even taught like some of the commanders. Yeah, it could be that some of you reported him. Yes, please report. Yeah. Oh, it must be a Starlink connection. Yeah. Bastard. Anyway, guys, I know this is a short stream today, but we did talk about a lot of really super important things. And again, I just want to thank you all for coming. And oh, that's an interesting question. How do you speak English if you can't speak? How do you teach English if you can't speak Russian? That's a fair question. 900 distribution. Uh, uh, how do I say? Розмовляю трохи українською. So I speak a little Ukrainian, and I actually speak a little bit of Russian as well. I speak kind of a mix of them, but it's like a baby. You don't really need much. Most of the students I teach are at a level where they have basic English skills, and so our sessions are almost 100% in English. And if you want to know 900 distribution, wow, I was just about to end, and now you actually brought up a really good question. The way that you were taught English in Russia uh, is really out of date. It's by Western standards, it's about 30 to 40 years out of date in terms of educational methodologies. So the way to teach a language is the best way to teach a language according to current research is a completely immersive experience from day one. You start off with the most basic words like body parts and then build up from there. And as opposed to like a lesson that's mostly in Russian, and then you learn a few vocabulary words in English and they're probably pronounced badly by the teacher. No. You start with full immersion, and it's a much more rapid way to learn. So, and then when students come to me, they've usually already been through several years, maybe even 10 years of old, your kind of Soviet style English education. And so they know, quote unquote, know, like you, a 900 distribution, you can probably type English really well, but you can't speak it. Okay. That's the thing, because you don't have the opportunity to speak with native speakers. And so you have a really heavy, Russian accent. Your grammar might be perfectly good. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, you should consider teaching English in Russia. It's something that they sorely need, so that because more Russians need to be able to watch YouTube, for example, and find out what's going on in the in Western, Western media, and find out the real truth about America, and that, we don't have like forced gender transition and all this other crazy stuff that you Russian trolls say. So yeah, you can totally do it. Hell, sign up for Educado School. You could just go there and teach. You know, I'm sure the Ukrainians will set you straight on your on your pro-Russian stance. They'll fix you up real quick, and you'll get paid money. I mean, in Russia, $10 an hour is still good money. So why don't you do it? I'm encouraging you to. Okay, all right. I promised, guys. I said this was going to be a short stream today, and I want to thank everybody for coming. Uh, I always say that the best way to defeat your enemies is by making them your friends. Or at least opening their minds. Sometimes you have to open their minds with a bullet, but whatever works. He can join Snowden or Steven Seagal. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So thank you, Sally. You're absolutely right. So thank you everyone for coming. You made me feel better. Even you, 900 distribution. You made me feel better. So yeah, Slava Ukraine. Do